So it's been a couple days now. Marine Le Pen lost by a large amount. I'm getting ready to leave France. Before I did, I was going to talk with Brittany Pettibone because she is an American Trump supporter who came to France to check things out. So first, do you want to just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do?
Yeah, my name is Brittany Pettibone. I have a YouTube channel where I interview various people all across the right. And I also have a Twitter, and I am where I do a lot of political activism, and then I am a science fiction writer.
So you are a Trump supporter, and you came all the way to France. Why?
Well, I think it's it was a defining moment for France, the direction of France. So I wanted to come and witness it, and there was a lot in the US, people were very involved in the French election, so just felt leading up to it, so I decided to come and check it out.
Okay, but as an American, why are you so involved in the French election?
Well, because I'm interested in the future of France, like many, because, well, Le Pen losing.
Right. But why France? Americans don't care about foreign countries so much. I mean, I understand that.
Well,
she's very much like Trump, right?
It's still part of the Western, world.
Yeah, but I mean, were you paying attention to the past French elections?
No, I wasn't, but now it's critical.
Why do you think so?
Because this election determined if France is going to take in more. France is going to be radically different with Macron winning.
In what way?
Because
like,
he's going to let in all, the Islamic immigrants.
So, but
he's already putting sanctions on Poland if they don't allow in
is he
migrants.
Really?
Yeah, he's already threatening to put sanctions on Poland.
But why do you care? You're American.
Because like my very best friend in the entire world is French. So, and I have many relatives also in Germany, so I care about the future of Germany as well. I'm a quarter German.
It seems to me that a lot of people on the right, Trump supporters, they care about these issues simply because Le Pen is very much like Trump, right? She's a nationalist.
Yes, it's nationalism versus globalism, but also not everyone, I don't think that Le Pen is the greatest candidate in the entire world, and I don't advocate for everything that she supports. The point is that it's very much a question of the immigration, all the migrants they're letting in. And we've seen, in the past year, a lot of terror attacks.
Right. So, I mean, what's interesting to me is that I talked about this before. I did a video with Luke Radowski where I mentioned it's interesting that there is this international appeal for nationalism, right? Like, you're an American.
Yeah, and okay, since I've came out for Trump and started to get politically involved, I've met a ton of people, through the internet that are Germans, French, a lot of different nationalities, and all of them were equally involved in the Trump election.
Yes,
they're very interested. We're interested in each other's welfare, because we have that in common. But
that sounds like globalism. But
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to influence the French election, but I am interested in the decisions they make.
We have Paul Joseph Watson, Milo, both British. We have Lauren Southern, Gavin McInnes, both Canadian, all very much for Trump. Talking to Americans about why they should have Trump, who is a nationalist. And then you have the Trump supporters. You came to France. Marine Le Pen is a nationalist. There's this crazy international support for nationalism in these countries, but it's paradoxical to me, right? That's almost. I know it's not globalism, but it's this interesting international support for each other's nationalism.
Yeah. I don't think that's such a strange thing. I don't see how it's so mind-boggling to understand.
So you think the main issue for you, why you support Le Pen, was the issue of immigration?
That she was actually going to combat that. She was actually standing up to that openly, yes. And Macron he said the French don't have a culture, or I don't know if this quote's attributed to him. I saw it online. I can't say for sure, but he was saying that Islamic terrorism that it's going to have to be expected.
Yeah, the mayor of London said something similar.
So
this kind of terrorism.
I just think that that's a really pathetic position to take. Oh, just expect it now, you guys. I mean, shouldn't you be interested in the welfare of your citizens over those who are not?
Is the issue actually nationalism? Or, I mean, look, you just crossed the border from the U.S. into France you snap your fingers, you show up with a passport, they let
but
you
I'm
in.
not trying to live here and become a citizen, which is fine to an extent. The thing is that we're seeing like mass immigration right now that it doesn't leave any time for assimilation, and it creates no demand for it either because there's so many people. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I was in France. The last time I was in France was 2013. It was radically different. I was in Paris. And here, maybe it's also the places we went, but there's some shady places and a lot of shady people. I don't feel safe going out alone anywhere.
Yeah, so I was here just over a month ago, and I was here in France for about 1 week, and in that week there were 6 different terror attacks, 2 of which were anti-capitalist, but 4 of which were Islamic terror.
Yeah.
These weren't big events, like, I don't like to invoke 9/11, but it wasn't this mass event. They were smaller events. I think in only one instance there were 2 deaths out of the 4 attacks, but we're seeing more instances where people come out, they yell, and they'll stab somebody and commit these crimes. So I guess is immigration really the problem, or are you more concerned with this specific culture?
Yes, I'm more concerned with the specific culture. Like, I'm not against immigration, legal immigration, like to the United States, for example. Not at all.
But so these people who are coming in, these refugees, if they came in legally into France or into any other country in the U.S.?
It's a question of they don't want to assimilate. They want to make, and we're already seeing this, like, for example, in the UK, they want to have Sharia law. Isn't the mayor Muslim?
In
the
London?
UK, yeah.
But,
Like,
but
they don't want to assimilate. They want to make.
But I think the mayor of London is considered much more moderate and Western.
Course.
He's not,
but like, for example, what, Dearborn, Missouri? Is that Michigan? Michigan. That's what we're talking about. It's becoming like Sharia law. They want Sharia law. It's like all the signs are in Arabic. Like, they're not making.
Right. But look, the signs are in Arabic because they speak Arabic and they're serving a community that speaks Arabic. I think it's a bit of a stretch to say it is Sharia law. I mean, so I'll say this: Pew Research Group did a study. They found that I believe around 60% of Muslims, these are considered moderate, would support Sharia law, and so I understand that concern.
Yeah.
But I actually think there have been a lot of problems in Dearborn. We've heard a lot of news. It's compared to some of the places in Europe. Dearborn hasn't had a string of crazy terror attacks or anything like that. So I guess I'm wondering, I'm wondering it's not necessarily the culture, but the religion, right?
But the religion informs their culture. I mean, like, everything.
It goes hand in hand.
So that, I just don't think it's cohesive with Western civilization in any way. So, but if they come and, want to assimilate and don't want to try and force Sharia law, and create pockets of, like, all over the United States, I don't think that it's it shouldn't be controversial.
Is Christianity compatible with Western civilization?
Yeah, but Christianity doesn't commit all these terror attacks and force their views on people or call you infidels or, they don't have.
Christianity at one point,
what, like years ago?
Not even thousands, hundreds. I mean, the Crusades weren't that long ago.
Yeah.
They were relatively.
But we're not seeing any kind of threat from Christianity now. If we did, I'd have a problem. I'd say something.
Well, I think it's fair to say there are instances where we have Christian, right-wing extremists, but it's not what you hear in the news, and it's certainly, as far as I know, looking at statistics, it's not staggeringly high. We had an instance in Quebec where a man went into a mosque, and shot a bunch of innocent Muslims.
Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah, that's absolutely wrong, and I'll say so. And if we do, see this, like, rise in Christian terrorism, I'm going to say so. People going out, Christians shooting, innocent people, that's a problem.
But do you think that...
It's not that I'm just biased against Islam because I don't like Islam. It's creating a problem, and we are seeing it.
But you're hearing, like, a lot of the stories that you're hearing, it's the media is reporting it. The media doesn't report on all of the MS-13 drug cartel terrorism that happens on the southern border in the United States. And so, well, I will say it's fair to say that Trump, it's one of the issues he has called out. Building the wall specifically will start to address, at least as many people believe on the right. It will address a lot of these issues. But I hear so many people on the right, so many Trump supporters, Le Pen supporters, people who just, this idea of nationalism and controlling immigration, they aren't focused on any other forms of terror, right? I believe, yes, there are a lot of Islamic terror incidents. I looked at the statistics from the FBI, and I don't think it's the majority, but it's certainly the most you hear about in the media. So I'm wondering, is the media to blame for pushing this kind of, this mentality and this fear over refugees and migrants?
The media, I think they've been most of the media has advocated for this. The mainstream media
Has advocated for refugees.
Oh yeah, I don't see any
But-
kind of.
Right, but they keep reporting these stories. These are the stories that make the primetime news.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a terror incident, they're not going to tell you about. There was an incident several years ago where some drug cartel members in Mexico hung two activists from a highway sign, and their bodies. You were just driving down the highway, you can see their corpses hanging there. And that wasn't a hugely reported story. It wasn't being shared like crazy on social media. And I'm just wondering if this really is the issue, or is it the media propagating it? Is it just that we hear about this more often that makes it more?
I don't necessarily think so, because the migrant crisis began recently.
Yeah.
It's not that this has all been slowly trickling and now we're all suddenly talking about it. It's that the mass immigration is very new, and it's almost in a way, it's destabilizing.
So let's move on to the reason behind the politics per se. So according to your Wikipedia, you write for a white supremacist website. You are a white nationalist, a member of the alt-right. The alt-right is considered to be, Richard Spencer, who coined the term alt-right, is considered a white supremacist. He rejects that term, but he is a white nationalist. For those that need the specifics, basically, he's advocated for a white ethno-state, basically a country or government that is for white people, I believe he called it dispossessed Europeans. Do you write for altright.com? Do you work with Richard Spencer?
No, I do not.
But you.
So back during the inauguration, right before the inauguration, Richard Spencer and I think some other alt-right figures were actually banned from the deplorable, so they couldn't go. But they wanted someone to write a story about the deplorable, like what happened there, because there was, for those who don't know, there was a lot of drama surrounding the deplorable beforehand, between a lot of prominent right-wing social media personalities. So they were looking for someone. They put out a tweet, and someone saw it and then asked me, you're going to the deplorable, you want to write an article about it? And I was like, sure. I wrote an article about the deplorable, what exactly happened. So, that's what I did. But then, no, I haven't written for the site since. I do have a YouTube channel where I have a co-host, so I put all my videos under Creative Commons license, meaning anyone can take them and use them. So altright.com has been taking all of my videos and linking them, which is...
They're not there anymore, though.
They're not there anymore.
Yeah.
But they are... Anyone is allowed to take them and use them without my permission, so...
So people have
So they're saying that I'm writing for the site, but really I'm not.
The site's just posting your videos?
Linking the videos, yeah.
So then I guess the question is, why does altright.com want to post your YouTube videos? Are you saying things in YouTube channels that support their narrative?
Well, the alt-right, aside from what, it's considered all their controversial views, they're very much advocates for traditionalism and traditional values, traditional Western values. And I interview a lot of people that advocate for such things as well. And so I think their listeners find it interesting, or their readers, so that's why. But I've never said that I am alt-right or a white nationalist, but people call it me that anyway.
Oh, yeah,
and the thing is, I don't
people...
feel a need to come out all the time and be like, I'm not this, I'm not that. It's frankly, it's annoying. So people can call me what they want to call me, even if I say that I'm not something, they're still going to call it me that.
So I heard about you from the Berkeley rallies. People were posting that Brittany was a contributor to altright.com, working with Richard Spencer, that you were a white nationalist. And so I started researching into your background, and I noticed on your Wikipedia page that a lot of the claims they make are the sources they use should not be allowed by Wikipedia, which was interesting to me. So one of the reasons I wanted to interview you, for instance, and you can check this on Wikipedia, some of the citations are just links to gab.ai. Right, which is like an alternative Twitter, and that is not allowed by Wikipedia to be a source. But your page is locked. It says that you write for a white supremacist site. You had at the time when it was posted, I believe when I checked it, there was one article by you, and recently they've removed everything from you. Now there's nothing there on their website. But when I look at your Wikipedia, it looks like people are just attacking you.
Yeah, it's just a smear. It's just
I mean,
an attempt to smear me. The thing is, most of it's false on there. I read it once a couple months ago. I don't even know what's on there really now. And they didn't even get. They were saying that we have like 10 kids in my family. Like a lot of factual things that were incorrect. So,
so you are a conservative Christian.
Yeah, I'm a
American.
Catholic, and I like, to be honest, I really hate labels. The only thing I've ever taken on is American nationalist, constitutionalist, Catholic. That's it.
To me, it sounds like you're just kind of a traditional Republican.
Yeah,
Traditional
I don't
values,
even,
Christianity,
I don't really like
right wing.
even the term. I don't identify as Republican. Like, I voted for Ron Paul last time. The only time I did now is because Trump ran under, as a Republican, so I voted Republican. But normally,
So I guess the last questions, right? So you are not advocating for a white ethno-state in the United States. You don't think that
No.
white people should be in charge and that there should be a purging or an ethnic cleansing?
No, I don't. I've never advocated for this. What I
Are you racist?
No.
Do you believe that white people are inherently better than other races?
No, I don't think so. No. This is the thing. I think the reason why the label has been attached to me is because whether people want to admit it or not, there's a lot of anti-white rhetoric right now peddled by the mainstream media, a lot of different large influencers, and I stand up to that very often. So I think that's why they call me a white nationalist. And to be honest, none of it really bothers me. Like, I haven't even tried to change my Wikipedia. People
Well, you're not
can
allowed
say,
to.
Yeah, I mean, or asked people, to go in there.
You're not allowed to do that either.
Well, then I thought anyone can go in and edit Wikipedia.
You can't do it, and people
Yeah,
can't be doing it on your behalf.
Okay.
But people do it all the time. They break the rules.
Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't really bother me. The thing is, there's this narrative that's been intentionally, deliberately created around me. They want to, make me seem like one thing. But,
It almost discredits you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, as far as I'm concerned, if someone who is white feels like people are saying things that are anti-white, sure, you're allowed to feel however you want, and I really don't see the problem with that. However, calling you white supremacist discredits you beyond just your
absolutely.
Concerns about what people are saying about white people or things like that.
And here's the thing, and I'll never change my stance on this. I absolutely believe in freedom of speech, so I will give a platform. Like, I would be more than happy to interview a leftist, even a far leftist on my channel, just like I'm happy to interview alt-right. Just because I interview, like, I don't like this by association. You believe everything that someone else believes. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But like, I do have friends who are alt-right. Doesn't mean I'm alt-right. I have friends who are non-Catholic. Doesn't mean that I'm not Catholic. Just because I'm friends with them. So I think that it's a really silly notion to think for people to claim that you believe everything someone else does because you have some kind of relationship with them.
Well, Marine Le Pen lost.
Mm-hmm.
We're in France right now.
Yeah.
I guess is there another country that the Trump supporters that you were one of the speakers at this big free speech rally, so at least to some degree you're a kind of a figure within the Trump movement, within the whatever you want to call it, the new right. Mm-hmm. Is there anything that you were seeing coming up in the future that resonates with the right or the Trump supporters?
Well, I think that the nationalist movements in general, we will support them because I know you say, oh, this is kind of globalism, but in a sense, it's against globalism because in supporting nationalism, you are fighting globalism. So that's why we do it.
It's just so strange.
I know,
these,
it is.
These communities of people who believe in nationalism from international places, from the French nationalists supporting American nationalism. At some point, these countries are going to, these same people are going to interact and trade, and it's just, I honestly, I understand it's not really globalism. It's just interesting to see international support for one's nationalism.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's good that. Like, I loved having the support from all different countries around the world during the American election.
You think Trump's going to win in 2020?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see how he does.
I mean, he's kind
over these 4 years.
Kind of flip-flopped on a lot of issues.
Yep.
A lot of people are mad.
Watching to see what happens, because I mean, it's been like 110, I don't know, days, something like that, around there. So I'm going to give him the 4 years and then see what he can accomplish. But I'm.
It's politics, people ask me, like, who do you support? Who are you voting for? And my response was, whoever you think is the right candidate, Just look at your watch. Just say, okay, 3, 2, 1, and he flip-flopped, and of course he's a politician, no matter what happens.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but I'm just hoping for the best. And yeah, I mean, if he doesn't follow through on all his promises, I'm not going to continue to support him or vote for him next time, but if he does, then yeah. So let's give him a chance, see how he does.
All right, well, do you have what's your Twitter, your YouTube, anything you want to shout out?
Sure. My YouTube is Brittany Pettibone, and my Twitter is @BrittPettibone.
Right on.
And that's usually where you
Okay.
can find me.
Well, thank you for talking to me.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks,
I am getting out of here. I'm going to fly back to New York and then try and figure out what the next big story is. There's some stories that I don't want to talk about publicly in the video, but if you like videos like this, make sure to click the like button, comment below, let me know what you think. I have new videos every day at 6 p.m. and Sundays at 8 p.m. I do a live show. So make sure you tune in when breaking news happens. I will have the live streams, etc., etc. Thank you all so much for watching again, and I will see you all tomorrow.